Well, okay. Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Messy, Mortal, and Magnificent. And this one is the one. This one is going to be very difficult for us both because we knew going into this is going to be like therapy, but watching it back, we're kind of done. We're done with hiding. We're done with the mask. We're done with, I'm okay. I'm fine. Because here's the thing. We are doing really well with shit. With shit.
Yeah.
And addressing things as well. This isn't the Jessie show, but Jessie is a verbal processor. And Ali is a writer. Mm-hmm. And Ali is like becoming more comfortable. I'm used to putting on a very big show. So I'm very comfortable. But when I was watching back the clips, I'm watching my internal patterns and discomfort and mask.
Yes.
And you know what? We might let's just fucking dive in.
Yeah.
I was with As I Am at the weekend and it was really beautiful to unmask the autism. But we also want let's go raw and show all of our difficulties because I've always been fine.
Yes.
And Ali has always been fine.
Yeah.
And we are fine dealing with shit.
Yeah.
Ali is an amazing writer. And shh, I'm talking, Ali.
I'll just sit here quiet.
Yeah. This is my show. So she's actually going to read out what she wrote recently on just posted today.
On my Substack, yeah.
On her Substack, because this is so raw and behind so much.
Yeah.
People are quite, I think, uncomfortable with the way that you're grieving. So let's show all sides of grief.
Okay. So this came up for me this week. I'll just jump into it. I don't know if it will always be this way. I turn the calendar to March and a veil of loss, normally somewhere far away but present, moves in to surround me for 2 months of the year. To anyone watching who doesn't know me, they'd probably think I'm getting on with my life and pretty unaffected. But in the quiet moments and in the times I speak with my kids or other grievers, the loss, anger, and feeling like my life was supposed to be different is overwhelming. I have always found change difficult to handle. I get on with things, but my inner world could be in turmoil with even the smallest of changes. Masking master level. In my heart, I am raging at someone or something for taking too many of the people who would support me in this heartache. My mum, my dad, my friend Melanie, and my husband, and my bulgy buddy Jane just last month. And then there's the dogs. So many past. I look at my old boy Ted sometimes and tell him he has to live long, if at all possible, please. My kid said to me the other day, death follows you. I hate that that's right. I know that it follows us all eventually, but it does feel lately like an awful lot to handle. There's a feeling since Jan died that I'm finding it difficult to put into words. It's a surrender of sorts, a feeling of knowing and accepting that it comes for us all, that there's no life untouched by it. A peace, if you will, with the inevitability of it all, combined with a weariness with navigating grief. Not suicidal, but accepting that when my time naturally comes, I'll be out of energy to fight it much. There's a weird kind of comfort in it, I guess, but I still hope that it changes. I think it will. I love my life now, and the feeling of needing to continue is much stronger than the acceptance of my own demise. This comfort sits very closely next to something else the griefies have gifted me with this week, and that's anger, with the disturbance of my ignorance. I spent my life with John, never thinking much about what might happen if one of us died earlier than expected. I never thought about it happening to us. Life was good, we were good. It didn't touch us much at all until it did. Some days, especially the heavy ones, I look at families out and about enjoying themselves and I am so fucking envious of their bliss. I know I'll never feel that way again. I had it whipped away, and my awareness of the speed and violence with which it happened is too strong to allow me ever return to this blissful ignorance I lived my life in before. It's part of the sadness that I feel in finding myself with the new fella. Someday he or I will be without each other again. One of us will have to go through this awful loss. It frightens me so much when the thought hits that it makes me a bit shaky, but not so much that I'm not all in for the time we'll be rocking through this life together. I'm tempted to tie this all with a nice bow here to reassure you that I'm okay, that I have a good therapist I see regularly, good supports in place. And I do, but I'm done masking. I'm done making it all look good when I scream on the inside. I'm okay. I'm okay because I can be honest and real. Thank you. I'm okay because I'm not always okay. I'm okay because my therapist is comfortable and helping me hold all of the feelings with appropriate respect, kindness, curiosity, and acceptance. I'm okay because I can find the laughter and the light in the darkness. And I'm okay because I don't hold it all together all the time. And I have friends and family who come join me in whatever hell or joy I'm in when I need them. I'm okay because I have words and I can write and speak to the truth, the reality. And that's really living. Unmasked and messy. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I know. Well, I don't know. I know my own.
Yes.
I know my own shit.
Yeah.
And I think we knew today was going to be harder because we're going through very different things and they have the same theme.
Yes.
That we can't do this anymore without being honest about our limitations, where we struggle, our thoughts, the things that racing. And for me, it was grief ripped off the mask that, I mean, for 5 years now, I've been trying to glue it back on. And every time I'm working on myself and healing, it's to not be autistic.
Yes.
And I can't do it anymore because I'm suffering.
Yeah.
And I teach people the beauty of self-acceptance. And my work has brought me to the reality that I love myself so much now. I have to accept and speak up. I can't. It's like I actually love myself so much. To continue masking is to deny who I am. I linked in, I went to this employment seminar with As I Am. And it was amazing. People just stimming. And I felt so comfortable, and I haven't felt that comfortable in a long time. And then I think about, often, obviously all the time because we're in contact, but I think about people like you, and you have to navigate grief. And it ripped off that mask as well.
Yeah.
And you have to do all of the things that, even without having to do all the things and having dependence. Yeah. I'm dependent. I have my dog.
Yes.
I have my dog and I'm struggling. I'm struggling. And I speak for you because we know I love the sound of my own voice, right? We know this. Okay.
We all love the sound of your voice.
Right. I'm a verbal processor, leave me alone. But it's like I've completely went off there because I was just talking about my own voice. I just wanted to talk about me. But you know what? Okay, we'll just side topic here. It's time to accept that I've been fine and good and I'm okay. And horrible things have happened to me in my life.
Yeah.
Horrible, horrible things have happened. But I dealt with it. And it's okay. People have it worse. And I think me and Ali are at the point where we've been fine. And I am fine. Hear me out. I have the tools to deal with the things.
Yeah.
But when I say I'm fine, I could be screaming, crying on the floor. But I just embrace.
You know how to cope with it.
I embrace it. I embrace it. But I think we as a community, especially like ADHD, autism, it's like we have to accept that I need help with things. I can help people, but I need help. And I think, this episode is really important for us because we're showing that when we say we're fine, that means when we're on the floor, we're on the floor and we let ourselves go to the floor, but we don't know how to show that without people being worried.
Yes. I sent this to you, the piece I wrote this morning, and said, I was a bit worried about sharing it because I don't want people to worry about me.
I don't want to be bothered.
Yeah. But I think as well, a part of that for me is I don't want people to misinterpret what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's the story of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm kind of tired of that. But I'm also tired of not saying something for fear of being misinterpreted. I think you just have to let that happen.
Yeah. We're very sensitive.
Yeah.
And people don't understand what that actually means. So an autistic person will hear, feel, sense everything at a heightened level.
Mm.
In our actual body response, we can feel deeper. So
yes.
Pain, rejection, sadness is ripping.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, don't be so sensitive. You're like, I don't have a choice because I physically feel this pain at this heightened level.
Mm.
But yeah, and I may express myself or show incredible pain, but that doesn't mean I'm at risk of doing something.
No.
And people don't understand that.
Yeah.
We experience life completely differently, and everyone expects you to not be autistic or not be ADHD.
Yeah. Like follow the rules and
yeah.
All
the therapies is how to not have those symptoms, how to focus. Well, I can focus on one thing.
yes.
I am interested. I am interested in everything. But when I'm focused on something, everything else goes. And now we're in a society that says you have to be pretty okay at everything instead of really good at this one thing.
Yes.
And I can't because, and I said to you, as an autistic female, I'm doing incredible. But as a non-autistic female, I'm failing.
Hmm.
And it's that, like, reaching out to my community is so important because the shit I have to offer my community is amazing. But I had to be vulnerable and accept my limitations because I have autism.
Yeah.
I have gone through the mills in life, and I've been at risk, and I've been vulnerable, and I have been so lost and so confused. And now the mask that everyone wanted me to wear, the mask that I was forced to wear my whole life, people won't help me because of. They say, no,
you're fine.
But you're fine. Look at you. I said, I'm like a fucking puppet. I am monitoring every word and I'm mirroring everybody. And then I'm like, you're right, I'm fine. And I'm screaming. I'm screaming on the inside. Actually, I have a poem. I'll read. Pause. Okay. My experience. Criticize, reject, shame me. I'll be whatever you want me to be. Through the years, I'll be molded, learning to grow while losing my voice, never to say no. To be fully accepted, you must hide who you are, bury your needs, and watch life from afar. Hide the pain behind your eyes, girl. Don't let that mask slide. The world will never accept the part of you hide. So rock when you're alone. Find safety in a daydream. Don't ever speak your truth. You must silence your scream. And that has been my whole existence, is to scream behind my eyes and appear fine. Yeah. Because I learned, and this is very common for like everyone but autistic high masking women, you are spending your entire existence monitoring good response, bad response, good response, bad response, and you don't understand your own body autonomy. You don't understand, when you say no to something that got a negative response.
Yeah.
You learn not to say no. There's a lot, like there is so much coming up for me. And it was my dad's death was the initial, catalyst, because the mask was just not, I felt very unseen.
Yeah.
Dad saw me. Didn't quite know what he saw, but he saw me. But I have suffered massively. And for a long time, like I work with neurodivergent people and I'm having my own second level awakening and understanding of how deeply I mask. And so me and Ali we said this episode's going to be big because we want this to be real.
Yeah.
And Ali knows last week I was really struggling. It took me ages even to post up the episode.
Yes.
Because I watched my Ooh, but I knew that I was monitoring because I'm being filmed. So I'm monitoring. And listen, what I say is fantastic. We know this. Amazing, right? What? But I watched her suffering.
Yes.
And I went, right. And it took me so long to post it. But you're amazing.
I know. We're both amazing.
Ali's wonderful because she knows I worry about the over talking. And it happened to me. Here's why I keep talking, right? This happened one time where I was talking over them. And it's excitement, it's not rudeness. And in front of people, she was like, you need to not do that. Right? And this is about finding your people. Because I would never, that's really rude, basically.
Yes.
Right? She said that's really rude. I'm like, well, I think criticizing someone in front of people is extremely rude.
Yeah.
Didn't say that, of course, because not confrontational. I wanted to roar crying. I wanted to leave. I was so embarrassed. I just wanted to get out of there. And again, because my autism is invisible to people.
Yeah.
My little dog. Okay.
Walter's here.
Tell me to let my dog in.
Walter's here.
So I was just so upset. I was so... Wally, get out of there. Wally is my life, by the way. Wally is my everything, so he comes with me. But I was so upset. And yet then this is the whole about like acceptance and like surround yourself with people that get you. Because I was being really hyper aware of talking too much, whatever. And I said, I know I'm talking too much. And you were like, yeah, you are, but you've got great things to say.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my people. It was, and that's the point. If you know me, you know that I'm hyper excited and I'm very ahead of myself.
And you know me, I'm quiet and I'll sit back and listen, and then I'll speak when I have something to say.
Yeah.
And it's that acceptance of other people and letting them be how they are.
Yeah.
And when you find people that let you do that.
That's the whole thing with community, when you accept your own limitations. Yes. And here's the thing too, you have to take ownership. If you don't understand what you need, you can't expect other people to either.
Yes.
And so there is a lot about, understanding what are my limitations? What are the things that I struggle with?
That's the trick.
It's being very vulnerable and be like,
yes.
Yeah, these are my limitations.
Yeah.
But like with the talking over, when people know, I'm able to then catch myself as best I can. Whereas, because people know that they can be like, shh. And I would be like, sorry. Because it's with love.
Yes.
Because I'm not thinking, sorry, don't speak.
You're so rude.
Like, I'm just like, because my brain is like, bop, 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 bop. And this is the problem with the invisible disability, because if I was outwardly stimming, do you think anyone would say, you need to stop talking?
Yeah.
They wouldn't, they're fuck. Do you know what I mean? They'd be shitting themselves.
Say nothing. Let her at it. Maybe that's what we need to do more of.
Yeah, no. I was like, if you saw me in my house, you'd say nothing. I'm like at home being like, and it's so funny because you're like, we want to hide it, but then people will not see your disability.
Yes.
I didn't want you to.
Yeah.
So desperate not to be different.
I'm
weird as fuck.
Yeah, I'm really weird. I think with my masking, it's kind of, it's being quiet. It's being,
but
it's being comfortable being quiet as well. So it's difficult to drop it.
I know, and I was
54 years of carrying it.
And I'm discomfort in silence. So if there's a lull in conversation, I'll fill it. If I sense that there's a gap here, Jessie's going to take over.
But I think that's good. And I don't think that should change. So we talked about this, about the podcast and about us, about you talking too much and me not talking enough. And it was like, well, actually, no, if we want to be real with this, we're going to be ourselves.
Yeah.
So, we talked about you talking less, and we talked about reframing it so Alison makes more of an effort to talk more.
Interrupt me, please. Please. Tell me.
Oh, I'm going to do that to you someday. It's going to be so much fun.
Stop flirting with me, Marie. But it is, if you address it with love and you understand the person, is not, I don't think that what I have to say is more important than you.
Yes.
It's how.
Yeah.
I've done it. And when I'm allowed, the amount of times I'm with people, I'm like, oh, let's do it again, sorry. Or my favorite is like, back to me. You know, like even with your grief with John, like I always assume that nobody thinks that I'm like same. You know, like that my experience with my dad is the same. I'm like, no, but there's similar things. Like, you know, it's like, no, but I assume people know that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I've been misunderstood a lot where when I see, I will openly talk about my grief and that people think I'm saying it's worse than theirs. And I'm like, no, I'm just talking about my own experience.
It's just different. Yeah.
The amount of times in my life where people are like, we're all blah, 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 or we're all suffering. And I'm like, I'm not saying you're not, but I can't articulate for you.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about my pain. You talk about yours. Mm-hmm. And that's such a common misconception that like I'm speaking about, I have it worse.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
your experience is your experience.
Yeah. I'm like, no.
Actually, one of the best things anyone ever said to me, I may have said this on this podcast before.
Say it again.
Was,
oh, yes.
When I was diagnosed.
Oh, no.
Our buddy who I went to for my diagnosis said to me, Alison, never doubt your own experience.
Yeah.
I was like, it's been 50 years.
But I say this to people, nobody knows but you.
Yeah.
The truth.
But I think when people put you in a position where where you feel like they're doubting your own experience of your own life, I feel dismissed automatically. And maybe it's an autistic thing. Then I feel rejected.
Yeah. And
that's huge for me. In my head, I have a soundtrack that goes with feeling rejected. I have a noise I hear. It's awful. So yeah, that's
a lot of the times though, and this is what I've come across is, especially with the autism diagnosis, right? Or you're explaining your experience, people don't like it because they didn't have the support or they didn't get validated. And so they're projecting onto you that they don't want to validate your experience because no one validated theirs.
Okay.
And we immediately think that ours isn't valid. And someone could be actively invalidating your experience.
Yes.
A lot of things, I noticed that with the ADHD diagnosis and autism, because it's validation of your experience.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't get their pain validated.
Okay.
So when you have a diagnosis, they're like, I'm sure everyone's autistic.
That's why.
Do you know this
That's
thing?
Why.
My whole experience has been, everyone does that. Everyone does that. But everyone does that. But everyone does that. Yes, but does everyone do all of them?
Yeah.
You know, so you've told me, oh, everyone has sensory and everyone has this. So I'm like, okay, right. Everyone does this. Then you realize they don't do it all. You know, are you standing there waiting on the bus, rehearsing what you're going to say, how you're going to say hi, and making sure you've got the right change exactly, because God forbid you needed to look for 2 seconds to get something else? Or am I going to say hi before I tap? Do I? And I step, sir, tap. How did that interaction go?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the rising panic.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Oh, chronic. You know, like it's that's what people don't understand. And you have a job. It's not just the job. It's the facial expressions. It's the monitoring other people. It's the, am I being a human?
Yes.
You know, I took on everyone's accents, body language. You know, I think in people's accent.
Yeah.
The more I'm with someone, I think in people's accents. And I'm like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. If I'm in a different country, I would come across as racist. I would. And I'm like, I would definitely have to wear a badge.
It would be quiet when you're traveling.
I would have to wear a badge. That's like, she's autism. Because otherwise they would be like, you're mocking me. It's not as bad now. Yeah. It's not as bad now because I'm aware.
Yes.
But I wasn't. But, you know, like this, and I speak, it's like, the autistic experience is relative to everyone, because the autistic experience is living life at a more sensitive pace, at a faster pace, processing, and then hyper sensitive.
Heightened everything.
Everything. And that's why everyone can relate to it. I'm going to talk again. Why? I'm going to keep.
Gone. I had a thought and it's gone.
A really great guy, Dave, at the the speaker speaking yesterday said, when about the whole everyone has autism, he said, well, like everyone has sugar in their blood, but not everyone's diabetic. And I was like, no.
That's a great answer.
Because people
for
are
that.
like, oh, everyone does that. And you're like, I'm literally crippled though. You seem to keep down a full-time job and go home and exercise and keep the house in order. And they're like, yeah, so you don't. Yeah. I'm telling you now, if you do all those things, you don't have it.
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
I am crippled under my potential.
Yes.
Crippled under my potential. But I need help with basic needs because I'm an autistic adult.
Wow.
And I hyper focus on something and everything else goes to shit. But that's what community is.
Yes.
There are people that can help me. But guess what? I have to identify my limitations so I can access that help.
That's not easy.
No. Also, this has been the saddest realization. I think I said this to you the other day when I went through my spiritual awakening, and I was like creating my happy life, right? Who I thought I was going to step into was this ethereal goddess. She was wise. That's who I was going to be after all this healing. But it's like that moment with Shrek and Fiona and she takes her true form. It's not the pretty princess that I'm like, here I am. It's some kind of swamp creature. My true form. I have a picture. I'm actually going to put it in frame for frame. I feel like I relate more to, that like caterpillar from the labyrinth. It's like,
oh yeah. Dear.
And that's my true form. And I was hoping that it was going to be this calm, ethereal goddess. It's just so wise. And it's not. It's autistic. It's an autistic little swamp gremlin. And I love that, but that is my happiest.
Yes.
And it was rejecting it. Why? Because that's not feminine, right? You're taught to be fuckable, excuse me. Yeah. You're taught to be demure and calm and elegant. And I can be. Oh my God, can I be?
Yes.
For like 20% of the time.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm kind of done.
I'm messy.
I think that's why I'm done being. I feel like I felt there was an expectation. I'm not sure where from, but I did feel and have felt with my grief that there's an expectation towards being graceful in my grief and being
a widow.
A demure widow. It's just, you gotta do it quietly.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it too much.
Be sad for an appropriate amount of time.
Yeah.
That people would also then turn against if it was too long.
Yeah.
So now you're not sad long enough. Even though you are sad, you're just living life.
Yes.
So you're actually grieving the healthiest way, that I'm still going to have great days and then honor my grief when it comes in.
Yeah. That
people feel like you're not grieving enough.
Yes.
That you should be sadder and you shouldn't have moved on with your life.
And I did, I have had people say to me, oh, it's going to hit you. Yeah. It's going to hit you hard someday.
I know, it's been hitting me. It's been beating me the fuck up.
The shite out of me.
It's been beating me up. Yeah, I just didn't run from it.
Yes.
And that's the thing. See, people usually run from it and then it comes for you. You didn't.
I've done that in the past.
Yeah.
I did that when my dad died, because he died really suddenly. And it was a year of drinking far too much wine.
Yeah.
And then I stopped. And all the pain was waiting for me.
Yeah.
And I dealt with it then. But after that, I remember going, okay, I'll do it differently in future.
Yeah, but I think that's the thing as well, like with John, we were talking about this earlier on. It was like the neurodivergent awakening because he balanced you. He didn't notice the things because he did them.
Yeah, he was my executive functioning.
And that's why I went missed, because I was still living at home.
Yes.
In period. So I didn't have to do all the things, the extra things.
Yeah.
And I wasn't doing well without anyway. But then when you're out and you're doing all the things, you're like, oh, people do this every day and this is easy for you?
Huge.
I can't do this.
It's so big.
No.
And just like we were talking about this just today, I discovered something I should have done
Oh
a couple of months ago
Yeah.
that I hadn't done. And
It piles up.
And I got to sorting it out straight away, but the feeling of guilt and shame it brought up because I'd missed something I was supposed to get done.
Yeah.
And
I'm having a lovely stare. Sorry.
it was it was when I was on my way up to collect you, I was thinking in the car, my God, I've done this to myself all my life.
Yeah.
I missed something. I didn't do something other people always remember to do. I don't know how I got through parenting 2 children. There's probably loads of stuff I didn't do. But I'm at a point now where I can look at it and go, okay, so those things are hard for me.
Yeah.
And that's the first time I've ever admitted that.
Yeah.
And before it was like, oh, I'm useless.
Shameful.
I need to change.
What do you mean you can't just send that email or just, it's so easy to people. I'm like, but when I'm looking at it, my brain isn't processing it. And so, you know what so my thing, we have different limitations, but mine is anything technical, forms, websites, things like that. My brain, oh my God, has a shit fit. And I'm like a tantrum. I can't handle it. Like I nearly broke my phone there just trying to fill out a form. I'm like, I absolutely can't. And it's not something that I can change. You know, people are like, and that's saying all the therapy for autism
just get on with it.
Is to change it. It's to not be autistic. And you're like, no, here's how it goes. I can take care of myself, my home, and my health, right? Brilliant. Or my interest.
Yes.
And my passion. And my work. I can't do both. I need help.
Yeah.
I need help. And so many autistic people need help. And that's okay because guess what? I can offer you skills. I have such a fucking high skill set.
Yeah.
Right? But could you help me clean my house? Because it's also being accountable. Like it's like, you know, I want to learn, I want to teach or whatever, but I get to keep working. And I'm a personal trainer. I'm breathwork. I'm this, I'm Reiki, I'm whatever. Yeah. It's a skills exchange. From people that understand, you know, with ADHD, you can blink and suddenly the house is a fucking state.
Yes.
But you're trying to focus on your interests and your hobbies and your work, but people can help each other. People can help each other. We can help each other keep on top of our health. But we have to identify that, this is really hard for me.
Yeah.
I can do all the things. I'm an incredible, I'm amazing, but I'm an incredible, like speaker, workshops, all this stuff, but organizing them is really difficult for me.
Okay.
Really, really difficult for me. But these are the points. Unless we identify our limitations,
we don't know where to look for help.
We can't. But who can help you? And this is the whole thing. I've been screaming my whole life, but I couldn't articulate what.
Yes.
So just screaming in misunderstanding and being very vulnerable and people taking advantage of me and just having a really shit time. And I don't remember ever being happy. And that's been really sad, you know, in a meditation, they're like, think of a happy time. I can't remember any. Now, I know I've been happy. Also, my long-term memories fucked. Don't store memories the same way. And that affects my learning greatly because I can't remember things from school.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah. Memories.
And so it's embarrassing.
Yeah. Because
there are certain things that I can't actually remember and some basic multiplications. But I'm like, it's not even coming up in my brain though.
Yes.
You think how did you not know that? There's not even a spelling. There's not even an equation appearing.
Yeah.
There's nothing happening. And people don't understand going, you're a brain. You're a computer and mine is different to yours. And you're telling me, shh. 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 You're telling me just to be different. You're telling me to have a different computer.
Yes.
It's easy. You just click blah, blah, blah. But that's your computer. Mine has a lot of pop-ups. Mine is, you want me to send this email, but there's a warning sign in front.
Yeah.
There's an urgent, there's a notification.
So you have the added grief virus in there.
That's a virus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes the memory even worse.
Well, you see, it's a focal point too. Like I find like when there's an issue, that is boom.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. And people don't understand. Like I'm very visual. And so with visuals, like when I'm talking to someone, there's videos playing.
Yep.
I can't describe that. There's videos playing and you're saying I'm like, just what?
And I might picture that. Yeah.
Yeah. Just what? Just focus on what?
Which one?
Which fucking one? This one. I can't get to it.
Yeah.
I can't get to it. So we have to understand. You have to understand yourself to help people to understand you.
Yes.
I mean, that's a big one. You know me, I love self-exploration.
Yes.
But self-awareness without self-love will be an absolute bomb.
Yeah.
It'll topple you over.
And it's accepting as well. Like for me, you're further down the road with all of this than I am.
I have more time.
Well, I have time. I probably just
but
don't have the brain
got
power.
Yeah, but you've got to do the mum thing. Is what I mean. Yeah. I'm there at my dog. Like,
yeah, it's accepting that you have the limitations and that you
that's okay.
need the help and that you're not broken and you're not thick
and
you're not lazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot to shed there.
So much.
And there's, when you've kind of, I'll be honest, I've probably beaten myself up all my life about
your potential,
not being able to do things or, not doing them the way.
Well, you would have been told it as well.
Oh, yeah. All the time. I'm like, people I love really love me,
If you just tried harder.
Yeah, it was very disappointing.
I was crippled under my potential. If Jessie just focused, if she just listened, if you just tried harder. I knew early on, like I knew in secondary school there's something off.
Yeah.
Something a laugh here. But it was like, I really can't focus. I'm trying. And I really can't listen. I can't listen. I need something to do. This is the thing. Yes. I actually need to be doing something while listening to you. I need to be able to look away as well. And I can listen more. Wow. There are certain things, but I've lived my whole life basically not being good enough.
Yeah.
I'm actually really fucking well.
Yes.
Really well for having masked
more
autism.
than good enough.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I had access to work issues, not the work issue, not the skills.
Yes.
Highly skilled, but the access, because I did need accommodations. The accommodations aren't what people think. The accommodations now, but I didn't know them. So I don't blame,
okay.
But the accommodations, like I said, is I need informal, because formal I won't be able to think, if it's an interview.
Yes.
Can I bring my dog? Amazing. Or I have the hours, but I need to work half from home, or I need to whatever.
Yeah.
If I'm not looking at you, I'm not being rude. Because actually sometimes when I'm hyper staring, it's to be polite.
Okay.
Like there's all these, there is a lot.
Yeah.
There is a lot. I will need to stim. I'm not fidgety. It's not like I'm being rude. But there's all these different things, but I'm, like I said, I'm out proudly autistic as fuck, because my brain's amazing. The awareness I have, the emotional intelligence that I have, I adore. And I love teaching and I love speaking. And I love
your ability to
articulate the autistic experience.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Is, I find, because my autism has affected me so greatly, but I can, at a level that I can articulate. What a gift. Amazing. But my access into things is crippling, because I don't understand certain points. Or I read, even understanding how do I put myself out there to employers and things like that, because I don't know how to speak sometimes. Or I don't know how to type.
Yes.
I don't know, if you put up a job description and you don't fit everything, you're like, well, I can't apply. There are all these things. And this is why I have LinkedIn with As I Am now, because I'm going, this is your community.
You could be of huge help.
Oh, fucking will be.
Yes.
Like I said, I've been trying to avoid it for so long because of trying to not be autistic. Even when I was proudly autistic, it was still my default to hide it. And then I go to this work seminar and, Adam Harris up the front stimming, and I was like, fucking deadly. Absolutely deadly.
We're all rocking.
Because it was hard to pay attention, so I was just kind of stimming away and rocking. And I got this amazing little thing that says, I am happy to talk. And then you flip it around and it says, I do not want to talk right now.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that amazing? I was so happy with this. But, it was so aware of people's limitations. And then there was like a focus group type thing. And, I just knew if I needed to stand up and look out the window, I could. But it was just, I was like, like I said, here's me trying to create the life of an ethereal goddess. And you're like, be with your people. Be with your people.
Yes.
And my people are autistic. And
Yeah.
you know what? I love it. I love it. They're such nice people because we get it. We get that being human is so hard. So
And when
we're
you
like,
land in that space, eventually,
accept that you're a
if you
swamp
land
creature.
in that space, eventually, I'm sure it's like coming home.
Yeah, to your
Yeah.
swamp family.
Swamp family.
Your swamp family. Because, oh my God, my autistic friends are the most accepting. Like, I love the ADHD. Everyone knows, right? They'll be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I didn't write back. And I'll be like, I forgot that you didn't write back. And we're like 10 out of 10. That's amazing. That's wonderful.
I guess.
In with my friendships, they know, like, if I forget to write back, it isn't that I don't love you, it's that I forgot you were a person completely. Outside, out of mind. You're not in this thought process.
Who?
Oh my God.
Jesse, who?
Alison. We talk every day. But we know it's not a personal thing.
No.
We understand ourselves.
Mm.
And, I understand my own limitations within friendships as well. So I'll say, like, ooh, if you want someone that can go on spontaneous trips, I mean, ask me, but I probably won't.
Yes.
And not because I don't want to, it's because I've already left my dog for 6 hours, so
yes.
I can't.
Okay.
Or we could be out a night out and you will hear me say, gotta go home to my dog.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You have to accept that. I'm not changing that.
Yeah.
He's my little sport animal. It's not just a dog.
Yeah.
That little cripple is my life.
What?
There you go.
It's a cozy.
Yeah. That little cripple.
He's here.
He's there, yeah.
Aww.
But like, it's I need him.
Yes.
And that's the thing, like, these are all things that as a friend. But then my friends do not have to fit under this umbrella of everything.
No.
So this person is adventurous and hikes and, very sober and healthy.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Super happy. They're all great people. This one, a little bit feral. I can be like, let's go have a little walk. I still have to go home to my dog. But like, they wouldn't get on and they wouldn't fit either. But I don't need them to fit either because they do that. And they do that.
Yes.
People need to stop wanting their friends to fit
everything.
No.
Yeah.
But that means knowing your own stuff.
Yes.
I'm painfully self-aware. Painfully. But I love it at the same time. Because I'm now self-aware with self-love. So if I do something weird, I'm like, hey, you little weirdo. Like, you're like, why did you say that? But in a funny way.
Yes.
My inner voice, I mean, oh my gosh, my inner voice. This is why I love the work that I do. Because my inner voice went from just nasty, horrible, like, ew, and you should be so ashamed of yourself, to now my inner voice is like, oh, baby, we're doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sweetie, it was a great day. Well done, you. I'm like, thanks.
I think I'm slap bang in the middle of that transition myself.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at the moment, that I'm starting to just accept it. So the bitchy voice is still there, but it's quiet person is very quick to go, shh.
We're doing our best.
You're okay. It's okay.
You're doing your best.
Yeah. And that's really liberating. It's very...
Well, it's like one voice was created from the outside noise.
Yeah.
The people's perceptions, people's opinions of you and the criticism, and it becomes your own monologue.
Yes.
And then the other voice is the truth, right? The other voice is like, sweetheart, I know what you went through. I know what was done. I know the pain. I know how hard you're trying. I know. And that's the voice that's like, come on, baby. Stop giving yourself such a hard time. And I'm like, okay. I've actually caught myself now when I'm out and about. This is how, in my head, I was with Wally. I was walking Wally. And he was just playing with a ball. I was just in the field. And I was like, no, I know, yeah. I was just like outwardly responding. No, I know, yeah, I know, I get that.
I love this.
Like, just you're responding back to that voice. You're like, yeah. No, that makes sense.
I do that all the time.
Yeah. Fair point.
Yeah. I speak a lot of sense. What can I say?
No, yeah, you're right. Or I'm like thinking something negative, and the voice will say blah blah blah, and I'll be like, yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
But out loud, yeah, definitely. Sorry. No, you're right. And then I'm like, oh, I have to pretend I'm on the phone now. Oh, definitely. I'll see you later, Paul. In the meeting. But you know what? Like, we knew this was going to be like a weird podcasts in general. Not weird, but
there's been a lot shook loose this week, I think, for both of us. Eclipse season, griefy season for me. And the podcast, and doing the podcast, and the feedback, and the watching it. And the truth. Yeah, I think, there's quite a bit of discomfort.
Yeah.
I think coming from some people about it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just kind of fed up of hiding who I am because I want to be liked by people I don't even fucking like.
Yeah.
And then, realizing, because I wasn't aware of that. It's default. And then I'm like, my people would accept me.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Why am I hiding? I am weird. But I'm like, like if you saw me at home, you'd be like, fuck.
I'd be so proud of you.
Because I'm in a pub. I'm rarely in a pub, but if I'm out, I'm like, hello?
Oh, really?
And at home, okay. I'm like, I'm very vocal. Very vocal. And let's say the dog is so important. Like, Wally is so important because I stay with Wally when I'm walking.
Yes.
Because people don't understand that. I'm like, hello, baby.
Oh, yeah, I talk to my dogs all the time.
But I get to Tim, and then I go home and I'm like, poor thing. The poor dog.
No wonder
he's got his work cut out for him. God love him. But he's more important than people even realize.
Yes.
For my well-being.
Yeah.
That will be. Oh, that will be. I will projectile. But,
yeah.
I'm very grateful for him.
My vet said to me at a checkup late last year, well, Ted's an old boy now. Shut the fuck up. I was like, I can't lose someone else. I can't do it. It wasn't last year. It was the year before last.
No.
It was the year John died.
No.
I'm like, oh, he's 10 now.
No.
So he's coming to be 12 this year.
No.
He's going to live forever. He has to.
Don't you dare.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Down. Do you know what? We might try and leave it there.
Okay.
Whatever you want.
No, I'm good. I'm done. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired after this week.
And then we wanted this to be the truth.
Yes.
We wanted to show you next week could be on fucking flying form. We're in great form. But it's, you're like, oh no, I'm okay. Like, I am in good form. I think I'm in good form because I'm accepting I'm fully being like, something's got to give, Jess. Something's got to give.
Yeah.
You're highly skilled, but you've got autism. And it's actually want to lead the way for the masked autistic woman to actually show herself and show. So it's like, I'll go first, lads. I'm going to head off into the wild.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll report. A few people have been like, let me know.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all heavily masked. And I'm like, I offer up as tribute. And I'm going to go into my community. And you can all follow. Because it's about time. And I think that will actually be another thing on its own. I might do actual talk on the vulnerability of the autistic woman who's masked in the world.
Yeah.
It said women are vulnerable. Autistic women are vulnerable. But a masked autistic woman, she's fucked.
Yeah.
It's trouble.
Yes.
It's trouble. But yeah, we could go on for hours. But you know what? Send us in anything that you want us to talk about. ADHD, death, life, whatever. Any topic that you want our opinion on.
Yeah.
And yeah, because this is what this podcast is. It's just our experience. So the themes will change. So yeah.
Happy days.